Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Glow Up Method. This is the place where we talk all things personal development, personal growth, all in this aspiration to show up 1% better than we did yesterday. Hi there. My name is Natasha. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Do you hear my voice? Oh my gosh. Cal gone, take me away. If you are an 80s baby, you know what I'm talking about. There was these commercials and it would be like this mom, I think it was, and she was getting in about, it was like everything was just chaos around her and she'd yell, Cal gone, take me away. And then she'd be like in the bath, all relaxed up and everything. Listen, do you ever feel like this? I know that this isn't my first time feeling this way, so I'm pretty sure probably some of you have experienced it, if you're not experiencing it at the same time like I am right now. So I am I just had some kind of weird lung infection after the cruise. And now I'm waking up and it's either a lung infection still, because that's it's literally right here. Like it feels like my lung is like hurting right here. And I'm like, I don't have time to not be at 100%. I've got my back injury. I've got to worry about finances. It's almost Thanksgiving. I've got to cook. I've got to clean. I have, my kids here. Oh, I have to figure out how to make sure these lights stay on and the roof stays over our head. I have way too much going on right now to throw in an illness. I don't have time for this. Sorry, buddies. Go get somebody else sick. What is going? I've barely been out of the house. What is going on here? But I can't control it. And so do you ever feel like that? You're like, I could barely handle what I was just handling. And now I have this other factor that just makes you feel kind of cruddy, right? I don't have time to feel cruddy. I'm trying to get back in my action and feel good. And I know that there's some kind of reason all this stuff is happening. And I know there's a great lesson in it, right? And the lesson is this, that things are going to keep coming and they come sometimes in waves and it's just way too much and you almost feel like you're drowning. And that's kind of where I am right now. And I've really been, for the last, I take it day by day. So for today, really working on the process of distancing myself. I am working on the acceptance phase of this journey. In the beginning, there were and I feel, again, like I said, I feel a little on the manipulated side and some games played, my heartstrings were kind of used against me as almost like a insurance policy, and it was he was asking for reconciliation and I thought it was genuine. And he was, sending things like, hey, why don't you come over? We can talk and stuff like that. And I really thought it was genuine. Hey, we can go to a movie together. And I thought maybe the distance for him made him realize everything he was losing. And, the fact that he was showing up differently, it got my heart because he was being nice again. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe we will, maybe we can. And then that lasted until he started talking to his girlfriend again. So the girlfriend, I didn't know, comes back in the world and suddenly he's screaming and yelling at me and he doesn't need my kindness. He doesn't need me as an insurance policy because he's got a sure thing over here. And I feel really dumb. I feel really stupid. And so today my mission has been to distance myself and to, not engage in any conversation. And when thoughts of him come into my mind, I sit with it for a second, but I'm like, this is not going to ruminate all day. I have other things to do. I have other things that are much more deserving of my attention and my energy. And yeah, I want to heal. So if it's something that needs healing, I'm all for it, right? Because I really want to do this the right way. Yeah, I can hop onto a dating app or ask one of my friends to set me up with somebody or, do something like that. But at the end of the day, my whole point is I want peace. I want healing. I want those inner wounds that I have that I brought into a relationship to have some kind of repair done, some kind of healing, and some kind of different perspective. So if and when I choose to go out and put myself out in this world in that vulnerable of a way, I know that I have a solid foundation. And I know that I'm not carrying those old wounds and baggages into this relationship in an unhealthy way. They're part of me. They're never going to leave, right? The awareness now that more time is going by and hearing and seeing our relationship in a different perspective, I feel so conflicted because I feel really smart. I feel really independent and strong and smart and I just see the good in people. And so in so many ways I'm like, I just didn't see this. How did I let it go on so far? And why did I do that? So again, that's my inner work, right? But it's a really odd situation, and especially at the holidays. You know, I went outside for a little bit with my daughter, and let me go back to this saying, I am very overwhelmed, just as you may be overwhelmed in your life by whatever circumstances. And it doesn't mean you have to be having major things like a divorce and no money and, dealing with your husband, even though you were separated technically, going off and having not technically, but verbally, let's say, there's no technicality about it. I guess maybe I don't know, whatever. And then going about it in the way where it was like suddenly there's a girlfriend, suddenly you're telling your kids, suddenly you're moving out. Like it was just like a whoosh. It was everything at once, which I guess in some ways is better than it just being this drawn out procedure and now I have to heal from again. It's like I've healed from, I'm not healed from. Yeah, no, I'm not there yet. I am in the process of healing from all of this at one time. And so maybe there's a blessing in that it's not a freaking 5-year thing that like I get over him moving out and now I'm dealing with him having a girlfriend and now I'm dealing with him telling the kids. It's like, bam, there you go. Have it all, girl. You can deal with it all. And I will overcome, I will survive, no doubt about it. I mean, literally, like when I was at the bank, the lady is like, you're hot. Like, and she was this like young, cute girl. Like, she's like, you need to get out there. And he was like right there too. She's like, oh yeah, no, you're going to have no problems out there in this world, finding somebody. So, I appreciate that because there is a part of me that's like, why wasn't I good enough? What was wrong with me? And all this stuff. And it isn't about me. And I know it feels like it sometimes from my perspective, but the way he treated me wasn't about me. It's something broken within him. And I'm not saying that I didn't have anything wrong and it wasn't a two-way street and I showed up perfect. I did not. I definitely had my own faults in that thing. But the way in which he showed up for me and the way in which he shows up for somebody else, that's nothing to do with me. Like, it doesn't mean I am not pretty. It doesn't mean I am not worthy of love. It doesn't mean I'm not worthy of trust and respect and partnership and companionship and friendship. It doesn't mean any of that. Like I said, I get stuck on it because I'm like, I wanted to be your friend first and you wouldn't. And you were like, that's when it ended for me. And I've heard it. Every person he talks to, it's a different story and a different end date and a different this. And sorry. Because of course now I'm not feeling well, so sorry about that. But at the end of the day, it happened and nothing is going to make it unhappen or change. And before I coughed, I don't know where I was going with all that, but I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, that's the part that hurts because it was like, you didn't want to be my friend, but you have no problem being hers. And it breaks me like that for some reason, it breaks my heart. Like I wanted to be a friend first. And I thought I was very clear about that. I wanted to have a friendship that evolved. I wanted to treat one another with like respect and care and want to hang out and all this stuff. And quite honestly, it just wasn't there. So he has a replacement. Her name is part of my daughter's name. And, she's got hair like her mother, like me and my daughter. She's got dimples like me. Like, you have your replacement. You have your Natasha 2.0. And I have to get over that. I have to heal and understand that this relationship is over. And I think that there's still a part of denial where maybe we can still get back. It's the holidays. And so as overwhelmed as I am with everything, and one more thing coming on, as small as being like an illness, it's not that small, but like, it's just one more thing. I mean, it's not like I'm in a hospital, so it is small, but like, I didn't want to deal with this right now. But I have to say I'm so grateful, because as I sat down here to record right before, one of my sons was helping me move 6 planters from the front yard to the backyard. And we were creative because he, gets back injuries. I shouldn't be picking up anything. And, we got a blanket. I'm like, let's figure this out. We got a blanket. We put them on they're heavy, big, huge pots. And, but they're like dormant for the winter. And so I don't want to look out and see death. I want to look out and see beauty and life and fresh beginnings. And so those have to go to the back and get hidden away where I can't see them. And then we pulled them in and we pulled them out. And I was so grateful for him helping me. And I was really, really appreciative of that. And then, my daughter, she's helping. She's out there doing Christmas. And I walked out and she was alone. Part of it, her boyfriend was there. And I was like, are you okay? Like, that was an activity, one of the few activities her and her dad did ever since she was a little girl. I used to do it with Chris, and then she started wanting to do it, and so I kind of backed off. I was like, yeah, they don't do much together, so this is a great opportunity for them to be creative, laugh. You'd hear them listening to Christmas music. You'd hear them chit-chatting, and this is the first year he's not here to help. And so I'm grateful her boyfriend is here, but then he had to leave. So I came out and I talked with her a little bit, and I asked the boys, hey, let's go out there. And then by the time we got out there, he came back and we moved pots and plants and then I scattered off to here. And then my other son was doing dishes. So as overwhelmed as I am, and at times it feels very isolating and alone, and why is everything, not why, I don't even question that anymore. It's just like, oh my gosh, something else is coming on. Like, cow gonna take me away. But I'm not alone. I'm not alone. My kids are here. One kid is actually visiting his dad, the one, because they're watching football together. And, I got my kids. I'm not alone. And they know I have their back. And I know they have mine. And the holidays are not going to look the same. And I know that in my mind, because I'm even watching back, ironically, what I was posting in real time today was Easter. And, as I go into this holiday, I'm having all this nostalgia, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, the holiday and the dinner, and, like, it's going to be like, it was perfect. And it was just the perfect timing that this Easter one came up, because in the Easter one, it was like Chris was getting mad at me because I was filling eggs and buying the kids Easter baskets. He was spreading all kinds of negativity into the day. He was complaining about the escape room that I had booked. He said it's small and it's terrible and it's this and this. He had never even been. He had never even seen it, he later said. And so, like, there was all this animosity and negativity that kind of I didn't allow, like, because it was this whole process I went through in this video. But it was such perfect timing to remind me now in real time that it wasn't roses over here. I might have had the delusion that, in the memory and the photos, that it was good enough. It wasn't that bad. And some of the bad memories I would try to hide away. But in my gut, I knew them. Like, in my gut. And then I would rationalize, like, even in this video, like, I was like, oh, he behaves this way. I know why I get triggered on the holidays. He gets triggered too. I'm making this whole story up because I know his narrative. I know his story. And I'm like, it's because he has his own, issues, and he didn't have holidays. And so now he takes it out on all of us. But really, like, is that the way, the story I want told for every holiday, when the holidays mean so much to me? It doesn't mean much to me because there's turkey on the table, or there's presents under the tree, or there's music playing. What means the most is the time. It's the gathering. It's the, not in work and not in school and not worrying about other things. It's playing a game. It's just kind of forgetting the rest of the world exists for a moment in time. And these people, like I said before, I would have large parties and I would never sit and I would never even get a chance to eat or enjoy anything with everybody. By the time I sat, there was barely any food left, no gravy left. Like, and I was just like, for what am I doing this? And so this year is going to be very special to me because it's just my babies and I. And I know that there will be an oddity, right? There will be this odd experience over the head. And I can sit here and feel sad. I could be like, oh my gosh, he has nowhere to go, but he's got a girlfriend. He's very public about having a very, very large and welcoming support system. They've fully furnished his apartment. They've fully filled his fridge. You know, they've given him money and support, and he will not be alone. And if he is alone, this is by his own choosing. We were always here. We were always the option. And it was funny because my daughter's talking about her experience, you know, doing the lights and all these things, and how it may feel for him to drive up. And then she's like, yeah, well, actually on Halloween, he wasn't here either because he was out, you know, like the whole time she did all the Halloween, we didn't know, none of us knew, but he was out dating somebody else. And so, you know, he wasn't here. He was missing games, you know, that he usually would watch with Brad. He was missing games of Tyler's. He was, you know, missing doing the decorations with Karina. So it's really not really our first holiday without him. It's technically our second. And he had checked out of the house a long time ago. And, so I say all that to say, yeah, I mean, I can imagine it's going to be strange for him to drive up and see, you know, his daughter is putting up the decorations without him. Life moves on, you know. He's, you know, upset that none of the kids are reaching out to him. Again, his story. He hasn't asked the kids, how are you doing? What's going on in your life? When he sends messages, it's just about him and his experience. And so, yeah, I mean, they feel that. They see that. They know that. They say that. Like, he doesn't ask about me. He doesn't know what's going on in my life. He's, you know, just so narrowly focused on what's going on in his. And so I hope with time and encouragement, and like I said, you know, I read to him a very heartfelt message where I was like, the ball is in your court. You need to step up for your kids or you will lose them. That's just the simple truth of it all. And because they're smart and they're not gonna just fall for the story, like action, you know, like we're not gonna just always come to you and be like, hey dad, can you pick me up? I want to come to your house. Like, he sent him a big message explaining that he's not responsible for them, but if they want to come live with him, he'll then pay for expenses. And, you know, nobody responded as far as I'm aware, not in the message that I was included at the very least. So it's a tricky time and it's a tricky situation. And like I said, I start getting going and I'm like, but I'm really learning to unattach. I took down a photo on the fridge of him and my daughter's like, did you do that? I was like, yes, I did. I just needed to. It needed to go. I didn't want to see the photo anymore. This is my house. It's also my kids. And so I did leave one other one of him and I up there. And I just didn't want to see it anymore. Like, I don't want to have this constant reminder. I'm not going to delete them or I put it in a drawer. I also just, yeah, I needed to do that to move forward. It felt really good. And in that moment to be like, you are in the drawer. I don't need to see your face on my fridge every time I go down there because maybe sometimes I'm not thinking about it. And I'm not like in denial about it. And what I'm really proud is like, I'm not trying to drink it away. I'm not trying to date it away. I'm not trying to TV it away. I'm really trying to sit in this emotion. And so I encourage you, it's painful and it sucks. I'm going to be straight up honest. Like, it would be so much easier to take a bottle of wine in the head and be like, nighty night, you know, like, however, where I'm going, the path that I am on and the places I aspire to go, I need to heal this crap. I need to understand the implications of a marriage like this and my role in it. I can't control Chris, right? He has control of him, how he shows up for his kids, what he chooses to do and not do with his time and energy. That is on him. But what I choose with my time and energy is on me. And so I remind myself that this is the perfect time and opportunity to double down on my self-care, double down on my meditating, double down on just literally today. I took some time and I just sat in the sunshine. I just sat. It's cold. It's November. I took off my jacket and I was like, I just want to feel the sun on my body. I have talked with my kids. I got to publish a short and my other video, and I'm recording, and I am doing things that bring me peace and joy. I took a great, really long hot shower, followed up by some daily dose of dysregulation, freezing my butt off. I stuck up for what I wanted, and I told the construction people, don't come here until next week. I wanted this peace. I needed this peace. And to have this other component of people running in and out and all, it was just too much for me. And I can imagine it might have been too much for my kids. And so I'm really glad to have this space and time to appreciate my kids. Because again, this is all freaking finite. There are no guarantees. There are no guarantees. And so what I do know for sure is I'm going to be fine. Is it going to be easy? No. Is it going to challenge me? Hell yeah. Am I going to grow a ton? Yes. And same goes for my kids. Each day we're resilient. Nobody's sitting over here crying. Nobody's sitting over here, and if they are, that's okay. Nothing wrong with it. But life is going on. And everybody has some kind of peace. Yes, it's a roller coaster. And there's moments that they wake up and they cry for 40 minutes. And then they go on and we laugh for 40 minutes. It is a roller coaster of emotions. It is a journey. It is a hour by hour, day by day experience. But we are all getting stronger. We are all getting wiser. And we are all in this together. We are Team Russo. He may no longer be a part of the team, but we are still a part of the team. And just because one member of the team has decided to quit the team, it doesn't mean the team falls apart. Actually, I think the team is getting a little bit stronger. We really are rallying around each other in ways we haven't in a long time. We haven't needed to. And so it's just really beautiful to see how one another step up for each other and take on things so that nobody is burdened. I mean, mom is, but you know what I mean? Not burdened, but it's not, they're coming up with plans. They're helping with garbages and Christmas lights and all these things, laundry, and we're making it work. And I appreciate that so much. I really, really do. I think that there are so many beautiful lessons in this experience. And I think for me personally, because where I'm struggling a little bit is on my confidence and my ego and what was wrong with me. I really want to blame me and could I have done more? What more could I have done? I really want to question that, but I really, really, really need to say and ask myself, was I happy in these situations? Was I happy having to go to the kids and redirect and correct and explain and say things? No, there were just so many different things that didn't work. And I think these last few weeks, it was almost like we became friends again. And I was so happy and getting the text and, not so happy, but I was happier because, there was peace. There was now this promise of friendship. But after the last time he was screaming at me and then I was popping off to him in the bank, I just don't want to be a part of that. That was our real relationship right there. Everything else was fake. Everything else was him wanting to get something. And as soon as he started dating somebody else again, there was no reason to be nice to the mother of his kids. There was no reason or need to be nice to me. So why am I sitting over here being nice and losing sleep and worrying about him? That's a great question. And so when I start to do that, I want to fill that space in and have the thing where I help to break that cycle. It's a pattern. It's a cycle. It is all I knew for 25 years, was to worry about Chris. Is he home? Is he going to be home? Sorry, my nose is now starting to get stuffy. And so I need to redefine and redirect this version of me. And it's really tough because as I sit here, it's hard, right? Because I love feeling good. Don't you? And I don't always feel good right now. And when I sit down in this chair, I'm like, I want to be an inspiration. I want to be a motivation. But I also really want to be real and authentic. I'm not going to sit down here and give you guys a bunch of BS. Because I know that you feel these things too. And I know that there's some days that you're like, it's helpless. Like, what do I do? Like, it's hopeless, whatever. Like, I'm overwhelmed. I just want to lay down. But taking things small, right? Like, truth of the matter is not all things need to be done today. Some of the things, they can be not done, or they can be delegated, or, something else. Like, we can lessen the load on ourselves. We can appreciate that there are people helping, even when we feel alone. And not take it for granted and express our gratitude and appreciation for it. We can rest. We can say our body can't take anymore. Our body is saying, check out. It's just, this is too much. And that's what I think my body is doing. It's like, you have been on one so hard. It just can't take it anymore. And so things happen. And I'm learning to listen. And I'm learning to say, all right, I'll stop, I'll slow down. And, here's the thing is, I'm so glad I get this opportunity to show up here because it really, really helps me. So I really hope that you have a journaling experience, that you have a great friend or confidant you can speak to, or therapist, or family member. There's something so beautiful about just talking through what you're going through. And I love when people talk to me about what they're going through. There's so many nuggets of wisdom and relation, like, where you don't feel alone. And you're like, okay, it's not like misery loves company. It's not like I'm like, good, somebody else should suffer too. Like, I shouldn't be the only one. No, it's not that. It's about being like inspired and motivated that if this person can get through it, then I can get through this. And it doesn't minimize my situation. It doesn't make my situation okay or great or that's okay, it's so good. No, but it just is like, we're not alone. You're a team. There is a community out there that is rooting for you, that is cheering for you, that is loving you, that believes in you, and will help you through this time. And I believe that all the generosity I've given, again, like this is where I get hooked on it. It's like, hey, listen, I'm a girl's girl. Like, I want to talk to the single moms and the moms that have taken on the whole family and some and the fact that one of my people, like, right, the single mom, like, you work out, you're a fitness instructor, you're one of my people on paper. And to know that one of my people on paper wasn't really my person, I don't know. Something about that just really hurts my heart. And I want that justice, like I was saying. I want that. I want you to know you really hurt my kids and you really hurt me. You hurt me as a woman that's navigating this world and wants to add beauty and goodness to it and not be so consumed by my own selfish desires and wants, but to really think about, yes, prioritizing myself, but also how can I do it in a way that makes me proud and that elevates the community, that displays to my kid, this is the right thing to do. And if you do something wrong, you apologize. And so I say all this to say, again, I can't control her either, but it hurts. Like, I'm hurting. I don't know her. I have never met her, nor do I probably have any plans to. But the fact that somebody could do that to another woman and their kids, regardless. And now again, I'm not giving Chris a free pass on it at all. Totally know what he did. But who knows if he was even honest? Like, I don't know what stories he tells. So, I can give some form of compassion, but the way it went down was very shady. And I'm just like, I guess there is a lesson in that too. And so I say all this to say, thank you for tuning in, for listening to my sicky voice here. And I want you to know, at the end of the day, it is okay to feel overwhelmed. there are things that you can do to help you through that process. Sometimes just sitting and breathing, as something as basic as breathing, can really just take things down. Meditation. I, for years, didn't do it because I thought I was doing it wrong. A long, hot or cold shower, a walk, listening to music, reading a book. Do something to fill yourself up when you are running so haggard. And just remember, not everything is a crisis. Not everything needs to be dealt with today. So really actively choose what things get your attention. Prioritize what's the most important. And if you could just do me one big favor, go out there today, give somebody a big smile, give them a compliment, and just watch how they glow up. So thank you so much for tuning in today. Bye.